Hello, Lori. How are you?
Good. How are you?
First of all, we found out about your condition yesterday. I'm sorry to hear about your cancer, and we are deeply saddened by what happened to your son. And your husband explained on yesterday's program about how he totally changed and started lashing out, and just you guys didn't know, and you were trying to figure it out.
Well, and at the time, we thought it was just puberty arising. He was 13. You know, half the time, 13-year-olds can't dress themselves, let alone do anything else. And that's what we figured was going on. And it just continued to get worse. There was verbal abuse. Our household was a living hell. Our daughter lost her only brother during years she needed him. He was embarrassed. He was humiliated. And at one point, Neil Erickson told him, because I work for the school district as a special education parapro, and I've worked with all these teachers that wrote letters of leniency. I've been in their classrooms for the last 10 years. But Neil Erickson had told our son if he said anything, I would lose my job. At that time, my husband was unemployed, so I was the only income. That's a lot for a 13-year-old to take in and handle.
Tell me how old Neil Erickson was at this time.
I believe he's 38 or 39 now, so he would have been about 30 years old.
30 years old, and he finds something sexually attractive in your 13-year-old, and these teachers try to actually say that guy doesn't have a problem except this one time. What is wrong with these teachers?
Well, I worked in their classrooms, and they were a very big clique. They would go camping together and party together, and if you weren't in that clique, you didn't count. And we were in the courthouse for the sentencing, and we were happy with his sentencing. He got 15 to 30 years, and he's in Jackson prison right now. We couldn't be more happier. The judge really gave it to him, and he deserved that. But when we were standing in the courtroom, and all of these teachers that I have worked with and that are supposed to be there taking care of our students and supporting them in every way, every one of them walked past us and never said a word, including the school board member. And they all went to sit with Neil Erickson's wife.
Oh,
they said they were there for the family.
His wife, tell me his wife is still married to this guy?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
And she has I believe her daughter is 6, and she was begging for mercy on
her
the court.
Daughter is 6. Her daughter is 6, and she wants this guy living in the house with her daughter who is 6. Okay. Yes. Tell me what happened last night. You got to the high school, and what did your friends and neighbors of Rose, Michigan actually say and do?
There was approximately 300 people in the high school auditorium.
Hang on just a second. Hold on, Lori. I'm sorry to interrupt. How many kids go to this school? District-wide, I would say about 2,000. About 2,000, and only 600 parents decided to show up to talk about the people. 300. 300. Only 300. So only 150 students had representatives there. Their parents actually would come to talk about who was watching over their children after a molestation. Okay, go ahead.
And we reiterated the fact that when these teachers wrote letters, they put in where they worked, and built Neil Erickson up and gave him this wonderful profile, which I could have lived with and set aside until they put at the bottom of their letters that there was no harm done to our son. He's a straight A student. She doesn't appear to be affected at all.
Oh, my God.
And then, no, I can't live with that. They had no idea, and how dare they say...
Did you speak, Lori? Did you get up and refute that?
Yes, I did.
And your 16-year-old daughter got up and spoke, too, but I got a note that they didn't even listen to her.
No, they didn't.
What did she say?
She, right now, she had to go to school all last year. She sat in Tony Erickson's classroom, which is Neil's wife.
Oh, my gosh.
And...
Wait. His wife is one of these teachers?
Yes.
Lori, you got to get out of this town. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this town. Wow. Seriously. You have got to get out of this town. I don't know what is wrong with this town.
How many people did you have the impression were there supporting you of the 300, Lori?
I would say about 95%.
Wow. That's good. That's
so
good.
So what did they why did they decide to keep the teachers?
They claim it fell under First Amendment speech when they wrote those letters. And they do not want the teachers to come back with a civil suit because it will bankrupt the school.
Okay, so we're down to money. We're down to money.
Exactly.
It is, by the way, it is their right to say whatever they want, but it is also community standards. You have a right to voice your opinion. You do that, but that doesn't mean you have no consequence to that. If I get up and I say, you know what, I'm for terrorism, do you think I am going to have any repercussions? I can talk about my First Amendment right to say that all I want, but there are repercussions to your speech. And if you are saying things that is against community standards, you generally live a life alone as a hermit.